Hey guys, I'm Levi Gates, and this is DETALKS, and with me, Mr. Yvan Lacroix. What's going on, buddy?
I'm having fun. I'm in Boise. What more could I ask for?
I'm glad to have you. And for this one, like we said, we've been doing these for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
The industry, 4 years ago, we were talking about how rapidly it changed in the previous 5.
No kidding.
And it's been almost 5 years again, and it's changed even more. So we kind of wanted to do a little state of the industry kind of update 2020. So the state of the industry, what do you think?
It's great. Thank you.
Okay. I guess we're done. Yeah.
Subscribe, like, everything. No, seriously. No, the industry is progressing wonderfully. It's changing. It's evolving. From the detailer's shop or detailer owner's perspective, they're becoming more and more entrepreneurs, which to me just brings a little warmth to my heart.
And not only are the detailers and detail owners are getting more educated in what they're doing, they've been connecting more.
Yes.
So you've got tons of groups. I mean, any of you guys know how many different detail groups there are
I'm
on
only
Facebook.
in 200 of them.
Yeah. I remember back when Detailers of Instagram, this is my old man voice here, when we had like 1,000, maybe 1,500 pictures, and now there's the hashtags are millions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. But the biggest thing has just been the advent of growth in technology. Battery technology for some of the battery-powered polishers has increased, which has been a good thing. The prevalence of different techniques and types of polishers has been another that is just, I mean, say what you will about Flex and Rupes being able to create some really great stuff, but you're here also on behalf of Lake Country, and the new Udo system is light years ahead.
Light years ahead are
in the sense
different.
That it's all in one.
Yeah, it's all in one. So you have a rotary, you've got the 8 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 15, and 21 millimeter stroke all in one machine.
Yeah, which now instead of buying 4 machines or 5 machines, the detailer just buys one.
Exactly.
That in and of itself is an absolute. I never would have fathomed.
It's overused.
Yeah, it's overused, but it's. I never would have even guessed that you could get that out of a machine. No, right?
So it is an engineering masterpiece.
And 4 years ago, none of us, I doubt anybody ever thought that could be done when we first started doing these.
Right.
And then
what I like about it particularly is it's going to put in the hands of detailers a rotary.
That's true.
That have never used a rotary, that are afraid of using a rotary. Now we're having a bit of a renaissance of the rotary right now.
We are.
We're seeing a lot of it online, of people talking about the rotary and getting back into it. And there's a group that started, Rotary Revolution, on Facebook, and it's growing as well. There's a Facebook group for everything.
There is.
There is. But there's like I said, a resurgence, a renaissance in the industry for the rotary. And there's a lot of people that are afraid of the rotary. And this is something that it's going to put a rotary in their hand, and sometimes they'll go, wait a minute, let me try the rotary mode.
Now that I have it, let's figure it out. So that's going to cause them to learn a new skill, hopefully.
Yeah.
What I've found also is just like from even our perspective with microfiber, is there have been so many different weaves and advances in weaves. And what we've done with changing the edges, we've been going with suede, 70-30 butter soft suede edges, to be able to increase the absorbency of a towel. The industry for coatings has gone towards pearls again, which we sold as a wax removal towel a long time ago.
Right.
But more and more coating manufacturers, Opticoat was, when you were there, was pushing for pearl weave to level the coating.
Yeah.
More companies took that and noticed it and saw the benefits of it, which then forced the microfiber companies to go, oh, okay, we'll make some.
Yeah.
We'll create this weave again that we hadn't been using for a long time because people weren't noticing it, or there wasn't a need for it. And now there's become a need, with the twist technology, there's such a different variation in twists. A lot of people go, oh, if you've seen one twist, you've seen them all.
No.
In the twist loop type of towels. But there's so many different versions that absorb water so different.
Yeah. Now, I'm sort of privileged when it comes to the rag company.
You are.
I get to actually go into Jeff's office.
Yeah.
So
The inner sanctum.
Yeah, the inner sanctum. And in Jeff's office, he's got so many interesting, neat towels on his desk that may never see the light of day other than being on his desk.
Right.
But the variety that is there, what you guys have designed from your manufacturing perspective, a lot of people think, yeah, they buy towels out of China and they buy towels out of Korea. Yes, they do. That's where they're manufactured. But they're manufactured by and for the rag company. They're not just...
Well, there's a lot of different weaves in how we change things and what we like and what we don't like and what we want to have done. But yeah, you're right. There are some crazy prototypes that that some work, some don't. Some are just fancy ideas we have in our heads that we're like, I wonder if we did this and this, if it would work. But not only that, but then the coating companies have, they have released, I remember in 2011 working and trying to figure out coatings.
Yeah.
How I would sell them, how I could make that a profitable addition to my business, when all of a sudden I'm trying to sell something to somebody for more money than I've ever sold anything.
Right.
To a person when I'm going like, I'm going to clean your car and then I'm going to protect it with this. But to have the backing of a lot of different companies, to have the technical support as well as marketing support, as well as customer service, as well as warranty work or warranty service, that exponentially has grown from where it was. There was only a few companies doing that.
Yeah.
And then as it grew, we had this little weird spot where tons of coatings came out that didn't have anything and not all of them worked. But we're getting to a spot where the big name brands are recognized and well known. Yeah. And the ability to create these groups of detailers to educate their installer network to, like we said, with Facebook and all that, the knowledge is just right there now.
The knowledge is there. But one thing about the coatings that I'd like to point out is it doesn't matter what coating company you're using, the customer is going to the detailer for your skills.
For the detailer's skills.
Right. So this is one of the unfortunate parts of the Facebook groups is you'll see someone say, this is the coating I'm using, and if you're using any other brand of coating, you're an idiot.
Right.
That's completely wrong. Just get that out of your
out
of your mindset.
Well, Jose Fernandez for so many years talked about I install 3 ceramic coatings, but I just install coatings.
Right.
He'd never talk about the brand or the company that he was installing.
No, exactly, because people go to Superior Shine because of Jose.
Yeah.
They don't go to Superior Shine because he's
this installer
applying XYZ coating.
Yeah.
So detailers just need to get that out of their mind that the coating company is not what's bringing you customers. You're bringing your own customers.
Yeah, they're providing a lot of support that a lot of other companies may not have. And that's the other thing is what I love is the training and education that goes on with almost every product now.
Exactly.
Whether you're buying a polisher, whether you're getting into a coating, whether you're bringing on a chemical line, whether you're even learning to detail. Yeah. There's so much education out there. And then if you're doing PPF, if you're getting into vinyl, if you're getting into paint or even sprayable PPF,
there's a class for everything and there's a place for every one of those classes.
Yeah.
And there's I won't say a proliferation of trainers out there. There's a number of us and we all get along, first of all.
Yep.
I don't see it personally as a competition. I see it as, Rennie does a great training. Mike Phillips does a spectacular training.
Yeah.
Every coating company has their trainer, and they also do a great job getting their people to learn what they need to learn to install that coating. And there's all sorts of other trainings going on. There's PDP that does a good training. The IDA, everywhere.
Yeah.
Most trainers will incorporate the IDA into their training as well.
Yeah, and that's really the neatest thing is just how much more, because coming from the old days, I remember not having that. And
what we had as the training was the guy with the chemical truck that would stop in.
It's literally it. And if he didn't know how to do it, you were out of
Figure
luck.
it out,
Like
yeah.
the two of you are gonna be ordering some pizza and trying to figure it out yourselves, because that's and a lot of trial and error. And I remember that because we didn't know how to install coating. And when you'd reach out to the coating companies, at the time they didn't. Those that were you would try and research, they either weren't in the U.S. or they hadn't figured out how to ship it overseas, or there was a lot of stuff and no one really knew how to make everything work properly.
No, exactly.
And there was that trial and error, I thought every coating needed to be IR cured.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I better buy an IR lamp. And, you think like a coating is a coating is a coating. It's not. No. There's so many chemical variations.
Yeah.
So it was the ability to have knowledge. And I think the key of that was the knowledge, the fact that the community the detailers became a community.
Exactly.
They stopped competing with each other in terms of, I have the secret sauce, so this is how I'm not going to tell you my secrets, to, hey, if you do this, you're going to get a little faster, you're going to be able to make a little more money. And they're like, they work together.
They're competing with each other as opposed to competing against each other.
Yeah, and I read an article the other day on Facebook or Reddit. A detailer basically said, he was a mobile guy.
Yeah.
He got called to a house and was given a quote over the phone. The guy said, hey, I need you to do this. It was an Audi R8.
Yeah.
He said, I need you to come do this on my car in a service. He gave him a quote, booked the appointment. Pulled up to the guy's house. 2 more detailers in vans pulled up behind him. Thankfully, he was friends with those detailers of rival companies.
Yeah.
And they were like, what are you doing here? He's like, I got an appointment. And they're like, we've got an appointment. We booked it, scheduled it, everything. This customer had booked and scheduled an appointment with 3 separate detailers. When the 3 of them showed up, he brought the car out and goes, okay, so give me your best price. Whoever gives me the best price gets the job. All 3 detailers, because they are friends and because they work together, they train together, they help one another, all looked at each other and realized what this customer was trying to do and lowball them.
Yeah.
And they all said, thanks, but no thanks. And they all left.
Yeah.
Like, that is the best case scenario for these detailers, because they didn't have to fight and undercut each other to try and scrounge for something that they didn't need to. The 3 of them were all friends and knew and said, we don't need this. This isn't what this is about.
No.
We gave you a price, we gave you a quote, you could have stuck to it.
Yeah, nobody gets 3 dentists together and saying,
no, that doesn't happen.
Okay, how much for this filling?
Yeah.
So, no. And that is something that I've seen in the industry change over the years, and it's something that I foster that as well, is communication locally. Getting detailers together locally. So when I do a training in a city, I try to get all the local detailers together, even though they're not part of my training. Let's have a supper the night before, the night after, or whatever, just to get everybody to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And once they realize that the guy up the street isn't a fire-breathing dragon and he's not out to kill them, and they're facing the same customers, they're facing the same issues, the same problems.
Well, and I think of the hardest thing is and I've said this many times and I apologize, my shop at the height of its speed and handling and getting cars out and all that stuff, I did 4,500 cars a year.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
There's almost 500,000 people in my city right now.
Right.
And I only did I could only do 4,000 to 4,500 cars a year.
Yeah.
I can't do them all.
No, exactly.
And
I was in a town of 60,000 people. We only did 20 cars a day.
Yeah.
There's 8 other detailers in town. They're all doing between 1 and 15 cars a day each as well.
Yeah. You're never going to do them all.
No, you're never going to do them all. It's impossible.
Yeah. And so it behooves you to become friends with those guys. It behooves you to understand that so that you can, when you're booked out, and the other thing we all see, a lot of detailers, 3 weeks out. I'm 3 weeks out on everything.
No.
It's fine. Good for you.
Yeah.
But get some folks that you can then give referrals to.
Yeah.
So that when a customer calls, you're not having to say, I'm 3 weeks out, sorry.
Yeah.
You can say, because the customer doesn't like that.
No.
They want to hear, sorry, I'm 3 weeks out, but you can call this shop, or this shop,
Yeah.
and see if they've got openings.
Right.
And if they can't help you, then I can get you in on this date. But if you can give them 3 shops that you recommend, that you know the quality of their work,
Yep.
you know that they're stand-up business owners, that they're good detailers, and they're going to take care of those customers of yours. 90% of the time, that customer gets that car scheduled from one of those, but then calls back and schedules the next car with you
Exactly.
for that time period.
And that's another thing that the industry has changed a lot. And I call it the Amazon effect. Or the Prime effect. We'll put it that way. People want stuff now.
Yeah.
They don't want it in 2 weeks. They don't want it in a month. When they're at your shop, or they call you because you're a mobile service, and they're asking about, I want my car detailed.
Yeah.
They're not saying, I want my car detailed in a month. They're saying, I thought about this.
I'd like to get it done.
I'd like to get it done. Do your best to get it done. For myself and our shops, when we were booked out 4 hours, not 4 days, not 4 weeks, 4 hours is when I would hire to increase our staff.
Yep.
A customer would come in, say, I'd like my car detailed. First thing we'd do is say, yes, can you leave it with us now?
Yeah.
You're reducing the objections to the sale.
Yep.
We had loaner cars. We had everything set up that we could immediately take on any vehicle at any time. And that was actually a very big selling point for our shop versus the other people that were booked out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks. People want their car detailed now.
Yeah, and it's the same whether it's detailing or PPF or vinyl wrap installers or any of those guys. Make the company available, but it's nice to see that detailers have noticed. I mean, we've been preaching this stuff for years, and they're finally starting to do that stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that the industry as a whole has kind of risen to meet that need and expectation as well.
Yeah.
So,
we are a service industry.
Yep.
And people don't go to a restaurant and say, I'd like to order steak. I'll be back in 3 weeks to eat it.
right.
And it's the same with
Or
detailing.
wait 2 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We want it now. People want it now. And, we've seen a lot of change in the industry, and it's positive change. The coatings, the detailers become entrepreneurs, which to me is a big part of it. But there's some subtle changes as well. We're getting away from the prima donna detailer that I only do 28-hour correction jobs. I need the car for a week. People are starting to realize that customers don't see what we see.
Right.
The one-step, quote, correction or enhancement, is a better way of putting it maybe, is becoming more and more popular because that's what the customers actually want.
Right.
So the industry is changing to actually go to what the customers want as opposed to what the detailer is wanting to sell them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, so those are some of the great things. So as a whole, it's good.
It's great.
Ivan, thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. As always, guys, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you want to follow Ivan, you can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and check out the Lacroix Cruiser, his bus, as it travels the United States and Canada. And as always, stay tuned for more videos right here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.